Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Sal. It's DJ Woolrich. He's back, baby.
What?
And we're talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're just going to spoil it. We're going to take everything we know about Spider-Man Brand New Day and speculate
We've
about
seen
what
it.
could
We're
be
going to
about.
tell you what happened.
That's right. We're back from the future, and we're here to talk about how Doomsday worked out. No.
Yeah.
We're just talking about Brand New Day, what we can expect, and maybe what it might imply about the future of the new Spider-Man trilogy, because there's no way that Holland's not doing two more.
Yeah, come on.
Come on. You can never escape it. If you're a Spider-Man, they'll drag your spider ass out of the retirement home and into the theaters, even if it means that you're a 50-year-old Spider-Man.
Listen, they lucked out this time because they finally got a Spider-Man who's looking like a Spider Boy for as long as they need him to. And that's...
Yep. That works for them. That works for the agenda.
I got stuck on this idea of, could you imagine how insufferable YouTube videos would be if time travel was? Like, hey, here's what happens. I'm back now. Here's all the stuff that you didn't want spoiled that I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, it would be a nightmare. We would have like a time variance authority that's just taking out influencers.
Yeah. And that is the time variance authority that would exist. It would be for IP. Like, we're not going to stop time crimes, but we are going to stop.
But Disney has a great organization that's there to keep a leak on lid.
Yeah.
keep a lid on
leaks. They got to protect the brand.
Got to protect that brand. But before we do,
yes,
I'm afraid I'm going to need DJ to work the graveyard shift.
Oh, my goodness. Let me put on my hat. Oh, my God. Yeah, because I'm doing the rounds right now. I got a new Kickstarter out there, a new comic book Kickstarter. I've heard, Sal, that your audience enjoys a comic book or two.
They do. They do read them occasionally.
And it is spooky season. And so I've got a new spooky comic on Kickstarter. It is called The Graveyard Shift. You can find it by going to graveyardshiftcomic.com or going to Kickstarter and type in The Graveyard Shift. It is a horror story in the vein of some of my favorite horror movies like Gremlins and Evil Dead and The Thing. And one of the things I really like about it is that it allowed me an opportunity with the way the story progresses. I'm not going to spoil it all here, to touch on a bunch of different types of genres. You know, you've got some slasher stuff, you got some creature feature, you got a little bit of a dash of cosmic horror in there, but it follows a group of young adults working a fast food job, as many of us have, including me, in the past, and they work the titular graveyard shift overnight. And unfortunately for them, they are the target of a group of scandalous thieves that are trying to rob them. And it just gets worse from there because the mascots come to life and try to murder them all. And this, of course, is connected to a deeper, darker conspiracy, as anything connected to a big corporation must be. If anybody, what I've been starting to tell people is, if you've ever had a job that you hated with like creepy customers and a monstrous boss, this is the comic for you. This takes all those experiences and feelings that I had when I was working fast food and retail, and expands on them and expounds on them and elevates them into a horror story. Because I don't know about you, Sal, but that's some of my favorite horror stuff. Beyond having like creative kills and cool monsters, which this has, it kind of touches on experiences that you can relate to, the horrors in our daily life. That makes it, because it's one thing to have a spooky monster jump up and scare you, but it's another thing to be like, no, yeah, that's a fear of mine. That's a thing. That's a feeling I've had. I think that touches on something a little more primal, a little more engaging. So that's what I'm trying to do with this story.
Yeah, man, you are a machine. You've been producing what? How often would you say you have like a book out?
Well, this is the first year I've done 2 Kickstarters in a year. My previous one was Danger Boy. I want to thank everybody that came from ComicPop to support Danger Boy. That was great. You guys should have, fulfillment happened about a month ago, so you should have your comics now. But
I do.
Yeah, and so this is the first time I wanted to do 2 Kickstarters, and in part because I feel like I'm doing some of the best work I've ever done, and I just want to get that stuff out to people. And I'm going to be honest with you, man, it's this tricky time. The economy's in a tricky place. It's tricky for people, and so I understand that. Any support you guys can come in, throw my way, or if you can't support, get the word out, because a lot of people, a lot of other Kickstarters have their own horror books out, so there's a lot of stiff competition this time of year. on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And as with most platforms, the algorithm is pretty punishing.
Yes.
So even if you can't come out and support, please do come out and support. It's going to be a great comic. There's 3 amazing covers. We got covers from Chloe Brailsford and Ryan Lee. You can get drawn in the comic. If you want to be one of our monsters, you can get drawn into the comic as a monster. A lot of cool stuff that you're going to love. If you go to one of the higher tiers, you actually get a hat as if you worked at Fatty Burger, which is the restaurant that the thing takes place at. But if you can't for whatever reason, help us get the word out, because that stuff, share the page, tell people about it. If you like horror comics, you just like comics in general, help us get the word out, because I think now more than ever, independent art is as important as it's ever been, at least in my lifetime. Let's phrase it that way.
Completely agree.
Yeah. So
true.
So yeah, and I know it's been cool. It's been a cool experience working on it, because there's been a increase in horror comics. The horror comics are having a moment again, and it's interesting to think about what makes something scary and how you translate into the comic, and then the balance of fun to scaring your audience, because I know for a lot of us, like, horror movies are kind of our litmus test for that. And there's kind of like the spook 'em up, jump scare, haunted house type stuff.
Yeah, spoil the wall kind of thing.
Yeah. Which is like a lot of our like latter day Halloween's, Friday the 13th, stuff like that. All the way to gonna ruin your day, something like Hereditary. Gonna ruin your day. Gonna ruin your day. And finding like, as much as I do enjoy and appreciate the ruin your day ones, that's not what this is. It probably leans, I would say it's a little bit in between, but it leans a little bit closer to I want to scare you, I want to get your pulse pounding, I want to creep you out a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're having fun. We're having fun, and we're all having fun. I've been calling
these are minimum wage workers. I don't want to punish these poor people too badly.
I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but they have a rough time.
They go through the ring.
They have a rough time. These poor people have a rough time. But yeah, hopefully the audience, like I said, I've been calling it an irreverent horror comic, because I don't know that it'd be fair to call it a horror comedy, but I'm definitely inspired by, like I said, Gremlins, and specifically Evil Dead 2. And I think for me, Evil Dead 2 is such a good benchmark, because Sam Raimi did something so unique with that movie, in my opinion, in that you'll be watching something happening and simultaneously, like, this is really funny and goofy, but also really messed up and disturbing at the same time. And I don't know how you're accomplishing those two things simultaneously.
No. I was actually just talking to my friends about Drag Me to Hell, which for me is like the clearest return to form that Raimi's had since then.
Yeah.
And it is just like, watch this girl just go through it. Like, I can't imagine anybody being like, oh, you're a big fan of like whatever the Oz movie was that he made, Oz the Great and Powerful, Spider-Man, and then you're like, oh, the next Sam Raimi picture, here we go. Just, you're not being prepared. And how it does dance that line between like funny and horrifying and disturbing.
It's such a neat trick, man. It's something that he specifically is so good at.
Yes.
And I'm bummed, not to derail us, he's got a movie that's either out or coming out with Rachel McAdams that and it's one of those, like, that's a bummer that Sam Raimi of all people has a new movie and I didn't know that it existed.
Yeah. That's right. I heard about that movie. God, what the hell's it called?
The fact that I don't even know.
Is it Send Help? It's Send Help.
It's Send Help. And it's like, and Sam Raimi is somebody I would credit as one of my favorite between Evil Dead and Spider-Man, he's one of my favorite filmakers of all time. And I didn't even know the name of his new movie. That's a bummer. No. That's a bummer.
I hear you. Yeah. I remember seeing a trailer for it and being like, oh yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure, especially now, once he's kind of getting under, I haven't really liked Multiverse of Madness. I know that one is a little, for mileage may vary for people. I really liked it, but I should go see it. And then, in my defense, I guess I should say, I was positioning more as the way we market movies now, but in my defense, I do have a little one so it's harder for me. Like I have
you can't just be like, well, the cat's fine, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah. I got to plan a whole
baby.
day. Like I got to plan a whole day around going to see Begonia or whatever. Like, okay, here's how this is going to play out.
Yeah. It's fair.
But
I'm excited, man. You got 2 weeks left on this thing.
Yeah. So we're about halfway there. We're about halfway there. And we're doing well. But like I said, it's a really crowded field, and as people, I'm sure will be familiar with similar stuff. It's kind of feast or famine. There's some bigger projects that also dropped around the same time. They're getting a lot of the eyeballs and attention. The algorithms favoring, and so it's been harder for books like mine and other books to kind of find their space. So anything, get out there, back it if you can. You won't be charged until the end of the campaign, which ends on the November 14th, I believe. It'll say, when you go to the Kickstarter, it'll say how many days are left. And like I said, there's a bunch of cool stuff. I'm working with David Stoll, who's the illustrator. Francesca Citarelli is on colors, who worked with me on Hellbent. And Micah Myers is doing letters. It's a fantastic team. They're doing great work. And I think it'll be, for anybody that picks it up, I think they're gonna have a really good time with it. So graveyardshiftcomic.com is where you can find that.
Nice. Check it out, folks. And now let's get to the Spider-Man of it all. I'm excited because you and I talk about Spider-Man on a regular basis. We used to do a whole show over on Spider-Versity and your Patreon. And you folks may have seen an episode or two of that because you've released that on your channel. DJ Talks Trash, I believe.
Or Only Stupid Answers.
Only Stupid Answers.
Yeah, that's part of the podcast one, yeah.
That's right. That's where the podcast goes. But yeah, Brand New Day. First of all, great title.
Yes.
I hope they abandon the using one word in the titles.
Have you played that game with yourself of like, what would the next one be? Yesterday, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, day. I can't come up with one. Or like, I hit on new. Spider-Man, brand new enemy. I don't know.
Yeah. Spider-Man, New Avenger.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I think it'd be wonderful. This is just my first pitch out there before we even get into speculation.
Yeah.
If the next 2 movies after Brand New Day just ape titles from classic Spider-Man stories, like or initiatives.
Yeah.
Like it'd be kind of cool if the next one was like something, something that is iconic. I would
Spider-Man, renew your vows.
Renew your vows. I don't see that happening, and I pray that it doesn't.
Yeah.
But like the Hobgoblin Saga, or this is something they could never do, but like Maximum Carnage. Something where it's like the title and you use that.
If the Sony of it all, dude, the Sony of it all makes it so tricky because they 100%. If Sony, I'm going to credit this to Sony because I actually do think this is something Feige would push to if he had full creative control. But Sony could, if they wanted to, have their big event, everybody teams up thing with Maximum Carnage, if they could just get their act together. Like if you just like introduce Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's done with Venom. Let's just say that that's true. I don't know that that's true, but let's say it's true.
I mean, first of all, he did 3 of them, which means he can't claim that it would be against his integrity to do another one.
Yeah. But let's say he's done. Introduce your new Venom in Brand New Day, let's say.
Sure.
And do your spinoff and do a couple other spinoffs that don't blow. Yeah. And then bring the whole house together and make your deal with Marvel. Like we're going to do Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. It's where Spider-Man and Venom team up to fight Carnage, but also Captain America's there. You know what I mean? Like
exactly
like that. That's how Maximum Carnage worked. It was like, wasn't it? It was Spider-Man and Cap and Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah. I were Deathlock, Iron Fist.
If I were Sony, I'd pull the street level guy. I'd be like Punisher's back, Daredevil, those guys, because that's
right.
But I think that's the fan in me speaking.
Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and pull in everybody who
not Iron Fist, sorry,
and a Hawkeye. Let's go.
Yeah, like, dude, Haley Steinfeld's Hawkeye with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Come on, man, come on.
That's something I'd like to see. Something we're not going to see in Brand New Day. Brand New Day, by the way, they switched out some release dates.
Yeah.
I think that the idea was that Brand New Day was supposed to come out after Doomsday.
Yes, I believe that was
so that it was going to be Doomsday, Spider-Man, Secret Wars. Now, Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out July, and then Doomsday comes out in December.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to... So Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to be the preamble to the big multiversal kerfuffle with X-Men and so forth.
Good.
Right.
Good. Because
I was really worried that Brand New Day was going to be a battle world.
Yes.
That it was going to be on another planet or another reality.
Yeah. No, Spider-Man is easier to get away with that right at this very moment because literally his previous movie was a you don't have to, people could have just seen the 3 Spider-Man movies and know what's up, basically.
Yeah.
That said,
absolutely.
You and I have been pretty vocal. That's not what we want. That's not what I'm signing up for.
No, every time I get more information about this movie, I'm like, so there's 2 different voices. One of them is ours.
Yeah.
And the other one is the others.
Yeah.
Because, one of the first inklings of characters that we were going to get, and I want to caution our readers and viewers, I call them readers because we talk about comics so much, viewers.
Dear faithful reader.
But yes, exactly. Yeah. But spoilers.
Yeah.
But Hulk. Yeah. So Mark Ruffalo was like one of the first things they were like, oh yeah, Mark Ruffalo's going to be in it. I'm like, classic Spider-Man character, Mark Ruffalo. Can't wait for the Hulk to show up in this Spider-Man movie. They've tangled a handful of times, none of which were iconic or interesting or relevant to any story that we would want to see immortalized on screen. How will Bruce Banner factor in? There has been I've no clue.
Yeah. Well, here's my hope. I have a couple things. One, I would be very down.
Yeah.
If they did something similar to what James Gunn's Superman did, where it's basically like, we're following Spider-Man in a week of his life, and here's all the bullshit that happens to him.
Yeah. I kind of love that.
Yeah. And so it's literally the Hulk thing isn't like a plot line. It's just like somebody sets the Hulk off. Because that I do kind of, this idea, I think it's more, it mirrors a Juggernaut, this classic Spider-Man versus Juggernaut story, but like, or Rhino. Hulk is just rampaging through New York, and Spider-Man's like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this?
Right, and there's no Avengers, there's no Hulkbuster armor, it's just me. What am I going to do about this? I kind of love that idea.
And that's just a 15, 20-minute sequence in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, you could get away with that, where Hulk gets arrested or whatever, gets powered down, and then they put him in some place. Maybe they establish the raft. Yeah. Well, they have the raft, but it's like someplace far away. I like the idea
in
that
Marvel Zombies, Sal. If you saw that, we've established the raft can move. Right?
Okay.
Like a raft, it can move.
So there we go. So they move the raft to the coast of Manhattan. Yeah. So Pete's there.
Right where you want your big super prison, right off the coast of New York.
They did it in the comics. I'll take it. But I love the idea where, like, Spider-Man fights the Hulk. Yeah. And maybe he uses humor to bring the Hulk down. Just hits him with knock-knock jokes until finally he just powers down. And then he's like, I'm too dangerous to be here. So then they arrest him, they put him in the raft. And then Pete's in a precarious situation that maybe involves Gamma or something. It's one of his classic adventures, but with a Hulk twist. And Pete's like, I need the Hulk for this. And he has to break into the raft.
Oh, great.
To get the Hulk out.
Well,
or to at least get information from Mark Ruffalo. That way we don't have to pay for Hulk. Spider-Man just goes to the raft. We could see a menagerie of characters who might have also been in the raft. Might be kind of fun of that.
Yeah, it's tough too because unfortunately, because I think there's still a little bit of murkiness with Universal. I do think Mark Ruffalo is great. And Mark Ruffalo, if anybody, I've just been watching that Task show on HBO. He's so good in it. And he's the perfect, watching Task is a good reminder. We're like, no, you are the perfect dude to play Bruce Banner. The issue is because of his nature of always a bridesmaid and never a bride, his arc is the messiest of any of the characters because it's like, well, Ragnarok, sorry, you're stuck as Hulk forever. Actually, now in Infinity War, you're stuck as Bruce Banner forever. But actually in Endgame, now you're fused. But actually now in She-Hulk, you're not. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I actually don't know what the situation is now.
They just fixed his arm. That was the only thing. They didn't do anything outside of that.
Yeah, and so like, and now it's like, is he going to be the Hulk again? Here's what I secretly hope, because as Sal mentioned, we do a show called Spider-Versity, and we went through all of Spider-Man the animated series, and we went through all Spectacular Spider-Man. And Spectacular Spider-Man has a fantastic episode where Silvermane is out of prison and Tombstone is making a play to be essentially the Kingpin of New York. They can't use Kingpin, but it's what the role he's filling. Exactly. And there's this big, and then Ock is basically like, I'm the crime boss of supervillains. And so you've got these three figures that are all competing for the underworld of New York. And it's so cool. And we already have, so we're in spoilers, right? You said you gave the
we're going to spoil stuff. Yes.
We know that they've cast Tombstone, and it's the same actor that did the voice of Tombstone in Into the Spider-Verse. And he also played
Marvin Jones III.
Yeah, he played Tobias Whale in Black Lightning. Anybody that watched that, he was great in that. We get Michael Mando's Scorpion back.
Finally, which I was like surprised we were going to get. I remember when he was cast, when he was in Homecoming, people were like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Breaking Bad was like the biggest thing
ever
at that time. And so people were just like, that dude's great. Let's do it. And I was like, I don't think that Scorpion or that actor are big enough to headline a Spider-Man movie. And I was right. Yeah, they never did that.
Yeah, you're correct.
But now he's back, but they can cram him into a whole stacked cast of other characters.
Well, and there's rumors, and at this point, like, who knows what's happened, but there's rumors. And Marvel can get away with this, but it is weird. Like, there's rumors that Mr. Negative's in there, which I would assume.
I've heard that rumor as well.
I would assume
he's not confirmed.
He's not only is he not confirmed, if he's in it, that's clearly your big bad.
Yes.
And you're telling me you're like however many months into filming and you haven't cast your main villain? That's concerning.
Right. or if you have, like, who cares? You know, like, what kind of secret is that to keep? I get hiding Andrew Garfield, but like to hide your awesome actor who's going to play Mr. Negative, like, it's weird.
Well, and so if he is in it, part of my hope, and this is me being a Joe, actually, I can pull him right here. Let's see if I can get it without knocking everybody over. Oh, I'm a big Joe Fixit fan.
Oh yeah.
And so part of me is like, and we've never gotten Gray Hulk. And so it's like, dude, have Mr. Negative boink Hulk's brain, and now he's the muscle, like he's the big henchman. And then we know Punisher's involved. Yep. And there's no way, although this would be stupid on Frank's part, if Frank's like, Hulk's a problem, I got to take him out. Like, good fucking luck, Frank. Good luck on that.
Yeah. I kind of love the idea that Frank Castle takes it upon himself to go like, no one will solve this problem.
Yeah.
It's like, first of all, Hulk has never really gone on a true rampage. Like, he wrecked Harlem, which they have barely referenced again.
Yeah.
They did, 3 seasons of a show set in Harlem and made no reference to it whatsoever.
Yeah, the main, I think the big one with Hulk would be Age of Ultron, right? When he gets messed up with Scarlet Witch. That's the big, like, Hulk's kind of an issue.
Yeah, and then he's never an issue again. Although he does reference it in Avengers. He's like, I broke Harlem, which, like, I think is, it always rubbed me the wrong way, you know?
Yeah.
In the Incredible Hulk movie, which, you know, was 100 years ago and nobody remembers it, and Marvel would love for you to just kind of forget it unless they're making a Captain America sequel.
Yeah.
They don't show you kind of like the impact of the Hulk destroying an area that the Hulk wouldn't know much about.
Yeah.
And yet, in Avengers, we play it for laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I destroyed Harlem when I was the Hulk last time, so I'm probably not a good idea for later. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks. And, you know, Luke Cage was a show about, like, being black in the MCU.
Yeah.
Or in America.
Yeah.
Be kind of cool if, like, Luke Cage has a chip on his shoulder about about a rage monster destroying a culturally significant area of New York City and then becoming an Avenger.
Yeah.
And everyone just kind of forgetting about it. Like, there should be, like, never forget areas of Harlem where the Hulk was.
I feel like you're trying to soft pitch Mark Ruffalo's Hulk versus Mike Coulter's Luke Cage, and I'm here for that. I kind
of really want to see that.
I'm here for that.
Wouldn't that be kind of dope?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, Frank probably doesn't give a crap, but, like, maybe he does, and maybe he'd be like, oh, it was really messed up what you did there, and everyone forgot about it except for me.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. I think we're getting gang war. Like, I think with the amount of villains that we're getting in this story, you know, when it comes to Scorpion and Tombstone, and we got Frank, and the implication of what Sadie Sink's character might be.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a gang war. Like, I think we're going to get a bunch of different characters. I wonder if we're going to get, like, even more characters than we thought, and it'll be like that opening that I've always pitched for a Spider-Man movie, where it's like, you know, you're never going to, like, I never thought that John Malkovich would be the Vulture in Spider-Man 4. I didn't think that was a plan. Obviously, it was. There's leaked storyboards and whatnot, or what have you. But I was like, Vulture isn't big enough to be the main villain in a Spider-Man movie. And I've thought that since Raimi was directing them.
Yeah.
So you open the movie with like Ben Kingsley as the Vulture. That was my pitch.
Yeah.
And, you know, he beats Vulture. And you do a little montage of, like, stunt casting, especially if it was Spider-Man 4, where you're like, oh, it's over. Like, we're not making any more of these. So, like, you could have the whole Sinister Six, but you could have, like, all these different fun characters with fun character actors playing them in a montage of Spider-Man beating them in a big, spectacular CG sequence that then dovetails into the smaller story, or like, the real Spider-Man story, where it's about this one threat. I could see that being this, where it's like, Spider-Man defeats, let's say, 4 other Spider-Man characters who are also street level or related in some way to crime.
Yeah.
They're all arrested. Mr. Negative makes his appearance, and then he breaks them out, and now everyone's got sides, and you got all these different, like, factions that are all jockeying for control of New York. Meanwhile, you know, Dr. Doom is like, I'm gonna blow up the whole universe or some nonsense. But, like, Pete's like, I'm finally living up to my promise from the first movie where I'm going to be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care about Infinity Gems and whatnot. I'm here to save Manhattan.
There's a sense, man, and I'm trying not to, you know, you don't want to put the horse before the carriage.
Cart before the horse, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, you do want to put the horse before the carriage. Anyway.
No, it's cart before the horse, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway, put the cart before the horse. Thank you. But it's hard not to, and maybe this is me coming from an era where, like, not the James Gunn Superman movies, like the perfect version of the movie that has existed in my brain since childhood, but it's closer than I've gotten in my lifetime, right?
Yes.
And so there's part of me when they're like, John Bernthal's Punisher's going to be in it, I'm like, oh, word? And then you see those set photos, you're like, oh. And so there's part of me that's like, could this be it, man? Could this be the Spider-Man movie I've been waiting for since Spider-Man has joined the MCU? Could this be the one? And it's hard not to. I don't. But like when you're talking about like gang war, and then it's like that's what I want Spider-Man to be dealing with. Like that.
Yes.
I don't, as great, and it was great, and I feel like it's the only good. I would argue. I think that's the only good use of the multiverse in the entire multiverse saga. As cool as it was to see all the 3 Spider-Man bounce off each other,
right?
And as great as Jake Gyllenhaal was as Mysterio, it's kind of like
great.
This is it, gang. And I feel like, I don't know if this is true, but it feels like a Daniel Destin Cretton thing. The director, he directed Shang-Chi. He's directing this one. It feels like no, I'm actually going to I'm making a Spider-Man movie. Like, I'm not making one of these. I'm making a Spider-Man movie, and it's like, God bless you, man. God bless you.
I hope that's true. There's also the other issue at play here, because we're talking about villains, we're talking about plot lines, we're talking about Hulk. Zendaya and Babylon are coming back.
Maybe for just a cameo. Maybe not a full thing. I could see a scene where Tom is like looking long. You know how Spider-Man is. He's looking longly across the street. He's like, my friends that I can't talk to anymore.
But they're states away. They're supposed to be at MIT. Like, they shouldn't even be here.
It could be summer break.
Could be summer break. I kind of love that. Yeah. I kind of love that. That'd be kind of fun. They're back for the summer, and you know. They're around, and it's hot.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is a real stifling situation we're in. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, what a great opportunity to play with the myriad of women that Peter Parker's been with, and like try that out for a change. But they're like, no.
Well, I'm a little
Zendaya
worried.
is like the biggest name in the entire cast.
Well,
so
also her and Tom Holland are actually a thing. I could actually see if they do another Spider-Man trilogy. The third one is the marriage of Peter Parker and MJ.
And then the comics won't have a leg to stand on. After that,
for real, just do it. Gosh dang it, they're canceling Spider-Man. That's stupid. Anyway,
I do have a quote though. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, for this movie? Well, I was because you're bringing it up. We got Sadie Sink in there. There's been a lot of speculation. My pet theory has been, and I have no reason to think this. I just the movies are giving me this movie seems to be giving me everything else I want. So why not throw this out there? I think it'd be fun. She's a redhead. We're seeing mutants. People have been like, Jean Grey. I'm like, would be silly. Angelica Jones, Firestar.
Firestar would be fun.
Firestar would be fun. Although I've been hearing rumors, who knows, whatever, that she could be. I don't even remember the character's name. in Greg Rucka's Punisher run, which is a great run. It's a run I really liked. There's another woman. She's an adult woman. She's not like a college age girl. She's an adult.
Yeah.
Another woman that has a similar loss to Frank. And she kind of becomes Punisher 2.0, like his sidekick.
Yes. Rachel Cole Alves is the character we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the rumor.
I don't.
And I'm like,
love that.
what a weird and waste. What a weird idea and a waste of everything.
Yeah.
It feels like you're doing it. I don't understand. And it's a problem I have across the board where I'm like, it's okay to just do the thing.
Yeah.
And it feels at this point when you do stuff like this, like, because it's not like you needed to use Sadie Sink, so we had to cast a character, we had to create a character or invent a character or introduce a character who looks like her in some way. You decided to do this, and it feels like they're making fun of us. Like, it feels like because I mean, like, you do a Punisher story in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
You know, you could do the story where the Jackal hires the Punisher to take down Spider-Man. Yeah. Spider-Man's painted as a villain. You could do any story with Spider-Man and the Punisher. Maybe the idea being the Punisher's doing his thing. Peter's like, I find that repugnant morally and legally, and I'm going to take him down.
Jackal was the villain. Anyway, yes, finish it. Sorry.
Oh, my God. I would rather not.
Yeah.
But, you know, instead they're like, well, what if it was Punisher, but also it was this very hyper-specific period in Punisher's history where there was also another Punisher.
Yeah.
And it was a girl, and then she leaves forever. And, like, we never pay that off again.
Punisher's getting, like, his own specials and stuff. You could do another season of the Punisher show with that. Here, I see what it could be, which is this idea of Peter starting to create feelings for this person, but she's connected to the Punisher, and it's a dark thing. And I understand all that, but also it wouldn't be the same story. But like, God damn it, Black Cat's right there, man. If you want Peter to fall in love with somebody he shouldn't be with,
it's
Black Cat's right there.
Yes, and there's so much potential there. Just when you're thinking about IP, you're thinking about action figures, thinking about spin-offs, you're thinking about like every possibility.
If you're Sony, you're like, to the degree that it's crazy to me.
Yeah,
that we haven't had a Zoe Kravitz Catwoman show or movie. What are we doing? But like,
right. We're just spinning our wheels in the Bat world. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, we could go on a whole tangent about that because I just watched the new. I want to be careful how I was phrasing this because I don't want to be mean. I watched the first episode of that new Welcome to Derry show, which was
Welcome to Derry, yes,
which is also directed by
Andy Muschietti, the Batman director.
And it's like,
coming up.
You should not have this guy direct a Batman movie.
Okay, because I was worried because I know that like I actually watched a video about him the other day where it was like he was screwed. He was under contract. You know, he had to defend Ezra Miller because like Warner Brothers threatened to sue him, and like there was a lot of like there was a lot there that maybe was stacked against him. But if we were to just let him do his Batman movie, it could be awesome.
Yeah. And
then you find out like, oh no, he's just not a very good director.
Yeah, it's just I know it's tricky. Our Pat should just be your Bat because then that sent me on a whole rabbit hole of like, well, if you have this guy do a Bat, and I was like. No, it's too messy. Just have our Pats be the best. Anyways, we're talking about Spider-Man. But like Black Cat, it wouldn't be the same thing. But you could see the story where Peter's falling in love with Black Cat, who's a thief, who Punisher's trying to stop. So now he's in this crossroads of like, I actually don't like what Black Cat's doing, but also I don't like what Punisher's doing. And if Punisher is really morally great, and if in this world of other, with Tombstone and Scorpion or whatever, Black Cat, I feel like fits right in. Yeah. And Sadie Sink isn't who I would cast for that. She's great. But it's weird. That's a weird one. If it's a Punisher character, that's a weird one.
It is a weird one, and I can't imagine it being motivated by what we're going to do with the Punisher in the future in the shows.
And also, how dark is that? Like to have a character that young running with the Punisher? Like what happened to this poor girl?
Especially if we use that origin, because by the way, it does kind of factor in. Like you could have that story. The problem is that her character in the Rucka run, she's going to get married.
Yeah.
And everyone's killed at the wedding.
Her parents were killed by Tombstone or something like that. That's how they change it.
You give her the Batman origin. And
here's the other thing that works is we know John Bernthal kills as like messed up father, like Punisher. His Punisher more than any other Punisher is very much a daddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, I guess that works. It's just
it'll work. It'll be frustrating to watch because it'll be like, everything you're doing is on point. You know, like even I can imagine a reality where they cast Sadie Sink as Black Cat, and I would begrudgingly like it because she's a fine actor, but also being like, but it's just not the thing though. Like, just I don't understand why you won't just do it.
Yeah, this character that is iconic that a lot of people love. She has her own ongoing series right now.
Yeah,
usually pretty good litmus test of a character's popularity,
right?
To be able to do stuff with. Sal, I have a question for you. I don't know if you have an answer for it.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of Daredevil and Kingpin being in this?
I'd say you're gonna get I don't know. I think Daredevil is a guarantee. I think Daredevil is a guarantee. I think that the thing they should be hiding is Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Because that's who I want to see in this movie more than anybody else besides Spider-Man.
Do you think they're sitting on it? Because that's the question I have is why sit on it at this point? Do you think they're sitting on it to wait till the end of Daredevil season 2 and to be like, here's our thing?
I can't imagine why you would do that. Like I at this point, because I appreciate a slow burn. And I was just having an argument yesterday about this, where my friend and colleague Ethan was like, "Stranger Things, everything takes 6 years, and that's how it works, and you just keep going." And I'm like, I can't imagine making Daredevil season 2 being like next season.
Yeah,
Spider-Man, like just do it now.
Yeah, Spider-Man's never going to be on that show. That's not happening. But I'm wondering if it's why would you even? Because you're right. Like, why would you? All that would do if you said Daredevil is going to be in the next Spider-Man movie. Season 2 of Daredevil leads directly into the Spider-Man movie. All you're doing is generating traffic for your Daredevil show. Why wait? Why would you wait? What could you possibly be spoiling?
I don't know.
You would need to wait. But it's weird. It's not weird to me in that John Bernthal, I would argue, is a bigger name than Charlie Cox. He was in the new Accountant movie. He's been in movies more than I've seen Charlie Cox in movies. Him and Tom Holland have worked together in the past. Famously, they helped each other with their audition tapes for Punisher and Spider-Man, respectively. Yep. So it's not, and also Punisher began in a Spider-Man comic. So it's none of that surprising, but it is weird to me. Like, wait, Punisher, but not Daredevil,
right? And
because that's the one we all want.
I'm worried that this telegraphs what's going to happen in season 2 of Daredevil, where Kingpin dies.
Yeah.
And there's a power vacuum and we see the result of it in this movie.
I think in some ways you got to kind of do something like that because you don't want people to have to watch Spider-Man 4 to understand the outcome of Daredevil season 5.
Marvel's already thrown in the towel about that concept. Like, if this was 2020 or 2019, absolutely, I would be like all about that idea. I'm like, yes, get it all connected, because everyone's just sitting down watching stuff. So like, give them a goddamn web quest. Remember that, kids?
Yes.
Just go on this journey where you're like, I am just gonna watch all this stuff and connect it all together, and it's gonna be a rich tapestry. It'd be like reading comics. No.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like, no, make a dynamite season of Daredevil that connects with the last one because it's season 2 of that freaking show.
Yeah.
And this should feel, if I was being generous, I think it would be like Spider-Man Brand New Day is like a chapter in between either seasons or in between episodes of Daredevil season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you've got a good template there with the Spider-Man game that was successful, because that game, the first one, the PS4 one, opens with Spider-Man taking down Kingpin, and that creates the power vacuum we're talking about. So it's like you could have a kick-ass opening sequence where Spider-Man just swings in. I think that's kind of how it opens. And there's like explosions and junk. And he's like, what's going on? And he comes in mid Daredevil versus Kingpin fight. And he's like, oh, damn.
That would actually be kind of amazing if Daredevil and Spider-Man team up to beat the Kingpin in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Dude, I would be
clapping my hands.
I'd be like
Vince McMahon. I'd be like, whoa! Like,
oh my God. and that's what I'm saying. That's what you could do now. And that's kind of the energy. In some ways, a Spider-Man movie could do that more successfully than Superman did, because you've got all the
the history.
Yeah.
You've got the audience by the balls.
Yeah.
As opposed to Superman, where they're like, ladies and gentlemen, Hawk Girl.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's like, I'm sorry, but who is that? No, don't worry about it.
Not,
I won't even tell you her real name.
Yeah, we're not going to start this new universe with a pre-established Justice League, so it has to be the Justice Gang because we need to build the da-da-da. You don't have any of that. You could just be, nope, here's Spider-Man, Daredevil's fighting Kingpin. Maybe Kingpin's hired Scorpion, and Daredevil's like, well, that's a little bit above my pay grade. And so Spider-Man comes in to help, and they're like, high five. Because I want a whole movie with these guys, but if it's just, we helped each other, high five, I'll take it. I will take whatever you give me at that point.
I would take the ultimate version of it, where Spider-Man and Daredevil team up to take down the Kingpin. You know, Daredevil essentially uses Peter to defeat Scorpion.
Yeah.
And when it's over, Daredevil just runs at Peter and hockey fights him. He pulls his shirt over his head and goes, "You're a child. Get out of here."
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool and really unexpected, and also tonally relevant to, I think, what we're going for with these movies, where at the dour ending of the last one, Pete hates being Peter. He's mostly being Spider-Man. And then Daredevil just pants him as Spider-Man. So he's like, what do I have?
Yeah.
Ugh. That'd be kind of fun to see. I mean, no, it wouldn't be fun to see, but at least it'd be a good tone for the rest of the movie, where Pete's like, I don't know what I'm going to do here.
Because you do have to answer the question. You don't have to. You have to have that conversation. If you're the writers on this script and you're the people making this movie, you have to have that. It's like, why wouldn't Daredevil show up when there's a Punisher thing? Because as audiences, we're kind of trained to when Punisher's doing some Punisher shit, usually Daredevil shows up to be like, hey, Frank,
knock it off.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
I guess in both seasons of his show, he did. Was he in New York in both seasons of that show? He was. But in season one, which is the good Daredevil, the good Punisher season, he's mostly uncovering the conspiracy of what happened with his
family.
That's interesting. It is a lot. It's a lot to juggle. They're juggling a lot. But I'm and here's the trap we fall into, Sal. Yeah. We've now talked ourselves into a thing that I'd really like to see. I'd really like the opening minutes, Spider-Man, Daredevil versus Kingpin. And we've seen, God, they really play it fast and loose with Kingpin, where he crushes that guy's head and board again. You're like, how strong is this guy supposed to be?
He might be kind of unstoppable.
Yeah, it's always a good question. Like, no, Kingpin's a normal guy. Is he? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
He took arrows as goofy as that fight with Kate Bishop was in Hawkeye. He was taking arrows to the chest, no problem. So, what is this guy? He's not a mutant? Are you sure?
No, right? I mean, he does have when he took the arrows to the chest, I was like, oh, it's like that suit. Remember when he had that suit in the pre-show, in the Netflix show?
Right, that
suit that was it looks like a suit, but it's also Kevlar and
John Wick suit. Yeah,
the John Wick suit, exactly.
Yeah, man, because that's a version of the character. It's like, that guy could go toe to toe with Spider-Man. I could see that happening.
Oh yeah, big time. Which would be cool to see. And I know that D'Onofrio's down, but I think that Kingpin is either going to be in jail or in the ground by the time this movie starts.
I doubt in the ground. I
think they'll kill him. I think that they're kind of like, we're kind of done. I
don't know, because there was reports. I just saw the headline. I didn't go. Wilson Bethel's supposed to be coming back as Bullseye for 3. You're not bringing him back and not Vincent D'Onofrio. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I would love to see a full on Bullseye season. Yeah. I mean, I want to see a Daredevil movie with Bullseye in it. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
But but barring that, I guess I'll take a show where Bullseye actually looks like effing Bullseye. By the way,
we're inching closer and closer. We might eventually get the full Bullseye treatment.
I would like to see it at the very least. I'd like to see it because I feel like
we're being skittish about that at this point. Come on, do the costume.
Yeah, it's a dope suit, and I think in real life it might be goofy looking, but it makes it even more scary.
Yeah.
But so I have a question for you. You know, outside of this movie, because we've been speculating on Brand New Day.
Yeah.
And then the world's gonna blow up at the end.
Yeah.
What do you think part 2 of Spider-Man's Brand New Day trilogy will be, or could be?
Well, listen, man, I don't want to. I'll just say this one thing. We don't need to spend a lot of time on it. It's a little bit of when they talk about what is it? Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse will be coming out in 2027. if we get there.
Sure.
Like, sure, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. Like, will we be getting Avengers Secret Wars? I'll believe it when I see it. At this point, and most things beyond like the next year, I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't. I'm actually more interested to ask you what you think we will get, because I don't know what we will get. I do know what I want. And what I want is, I want Daredevil to be in this movie. I want to see Spider-Man hang out with the X-Men in one of them movies, and I want to see Spider-Man hang out with the Fantastic Four in one of them movies. And when I say the X-Men, no, I don't mean the Fox X-Men. I don't mean that. I'm done with them. I've been done with them. I wish
for years.
Yeah.
Tom Holland should have no interaction with the old X-Men. If any Spider-Man teams up with the old X-Men, it should be either Raimi or it should be Raimi Spider-Man or Webb Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It should be either like
it should
Maguire
be. I am down with
Garfield.
Maguire teaming up with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and that's pretty much the extent of it. That's
it. I mean, like I like Tom Holland, I really do, and I think he's done a wonderful job with the character at blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
The more divorced I am from it, the more I'm like, they should have just dovetailed the Amazing Spider-Man universe into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and just made Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
You know, it's funny, man. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I have people that are members of my channel. I've been uploading the videos, because we dropped the podcast episodes a while ago, the audio for our Spider-Versity episodes, but the videos were usually just for live people. And so I just put up our one of No Way Home Part 2, and we had you and I had a discussion about that with Hector, about there was talks of just folding Andrew Garfield's in, and how that would have helped with Spider-Man feeling a bit co-opted by the Marvel universe. So it feels less like you're getting a Spider-Man story, and more like an appendage, a vestigial limb of the MCU that has Spider-Man in it, kind of. And I totally hear I hear that. Something that did just occur to me is, I kind of hope that Zendaya and Jacob Batalon are in there as a long, like Peter, like, oh, what I used to have. Because you're in a position. Here's the beauty of it being part of a shared universe. These movies don't need to fix No Way Home. Secret Wars can fix No Way Home.
Yeah, everything just explodes.
Once they reset, because they're going to reset to some degree. There's going to be, it could either be the Jonathan Hickman Secret War reset, where it's kind of like, well, now Miles is part of the
soft reboot.
Or it could be a full Infinite Crisis level, like, now we got a new Captain America. You know what I mean? Like, we got a new Steve Rogers. To some degree, they are going to reset, and you just say, yep, that's, now people know who Peter is, and because we don't need to address it. We don't need to figure out how we're going to fix it in a Spider-Man movie. We just need to touch on it here, that it is something he is emotionally dealing with, that informs his arc, and then it is resolved. Like you, I do think all of these every Spider-Man movie has settled on, here's Peter's one love interest.
Yep.
And I do feel like that's a missed opportunity. It's just a missed opportunity of exploring his other love interest. So if it were me, I'm fine if you want to be pot committed to MJ,
right?
And say that's how they end up. Give us one where, like, they're not in each other's lives at all. Two, where they're trying to figure out, like, she's mad at him because she's like, wait, you made that decision for me, yada yada yada. And then end of this movie, like, no, we're back together, and we figured it out, and we're going to be in love forever, yada yada yada.
Sure.
But I guess mostly just because, like, do Black Cat, man. I guess that's the only one. We've had a good Mary Jane run. We've had a good, although I would argue we've never really gotten a
Gwen,
Mary Jane from the comics, like the Mary Jane.
No, we've never.
Never existed in a movie.
There's a part of me that will defend Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane, but it did stray.
Well, it's more of a amalgamation of Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane into.
It's a lot of ideas at once. Like, Peter should never meet MJ in high school. That's just not how it goes.
And we could have gotten that with Amazing 3 with the Death of Gwen. It's funny. I was reading this this book, MCU. I've mentioned it before on our other shows. That's kind of like a behind the scenes history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's really good. It's really informative, and there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of discourse around in the early days, like Feige was kind of brought in to talk to them with Amazing Spider-Man 2, and he's like, I think the ending's too dark, and they really, it's the powers that be really hated and blamed the failure of the movie to the death of Gwen, and it's like, that's the most interesting thing that happens in that movie. Like,
it is. It's the most. Like, it's the thing that I gave them the most credit for.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you talking about?
I was like, I hate this. I hate that they killed Gwen. That means it worked.
Yeah. Like, and they could, with between Chameleon and Clones, they could have found a way. I get the argument that like the main pull of those movies is those two actors' chemistry with each other. I do understand that. Anyway. Yeah. I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool to get a real, honest to God Black Cat on screen. That'd be dope. I'd be cool. It brings such an interesting thing to Peter's relationship. I would argue that the reason most of us want to see Vincent D'Onofrio face off with Tom Holland is because of the animated series in the 90s. That if people recall, Black Cat was a huge part of that. And so like there's I would imagine there's a lot of nostalgia there. So I don't, and if Sadie Sink is Punisher 2.0, she's not going to be bringing any of that energy into this.
Nope, there's nothing there. It's just a Punisher. It's a weird Punisher idea that's going to be in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. But for me, it's like, I would save Zendaya and them getting together in the third movie. I really, especially after seeing the new Fantastic Four movie, I'd really like to see Tom Holland hang out with this Fantastic Four.
This guy I want to see hang out with these people.
I think that'd be really cool. I don't know what the story would be. I know that fanboy in me, it's like, let's do Venom right. Because people know from the comics, how Peter finds out that the suit is alive is because of Reed. And so I think that's a good way to connect the type of stories you tell in a Fantastic Four movie with the type of stories you tell with Spider-Man. It's the symbiote suit is actually a pretty good tether.
Agreed.
But that might just be, I just want a good Venom story. And I don't know what, I don't honestly don't care what story you tell to get Spider-Man to hang out with the X-Men. You could pull from the game where it's Arcade or whoever. I don't give a shit.
You can make something up. I don't care. It's just something I want to see.
Get that Marvel, because as rocky a road as Marvel has been in post-Endgame, their casting is still by and large very on point. So get that casting team to give me a good MCU X-Men. Have Tom Holland hang out with them. Give me a good new MCU Wolverine. That's your trickiest hurdle to cross. But you give me that and Spider-Man bouncing off Wolverine. I am good to not Hugh Jackman. As great as Hugh Jackman is, not Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Your new Wolverine. That's what I want.
I don't care about that. So that's what I want, but I don't know what they will actually do. Sal, do you have like a prognosis? You are from the future, as we've established at the beginning.
Right, I'm from the future.
What do they do?
Honestly, like if it were me running the thing, which people probably would be like, don't do that. You got 3 movies. The first one is pre Ultimate Destruction of the Universe. The second one, who the hell knows? I mean, if we're just going to ignore Secret Wars, because, like, I would just ignore it for now. Just be like, we're doing something else. Like, we're doing, this took place before the Big Bang or whatever. I mean, Spider-Man movies, by and large, are between $200 and $250 million. This movie will be stretching the limits of that budget, I'm sure, because there's so many effing characters, all of whom have to wear makeup, prosthetics, or at least be enhanced with CG.
Yeah.
Plus, it seems like there's a lot of moving plot lines, and you got a Hulk in there.
Yeah.
Hulk movies, by and large, are also hard to make because you got to make a fully CG character.
Yeah.
It was a problem when they made the first one. It's a problem now.
Yeah.
But, Disney money, so I guess it's okay. But, like, if you're looking to really go out with a bang with the third one, if Tom Holland walks away from the character after the third one, I don't know. I'd like to see, because I was thinking about, like, using titles from stories. I'd like to see Spider-Man Torment.
Okay.
Where it's just a movie about a serial killer, and it pushes Pete to the limit, where like the stakes are ridiculously low.
Yeah,
they're cosmically speaking, like the issue is like Manhattan has a butcher, and then he finds out Pete's met the Lizard from another universe.
Yeah,
so use a character that you've never used in movies before, Vermin. There's a rat man who lives under the streets of Manhattan and he's eating people. Or because it'd probably be a little too extreme for your like backpack selling Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
He's attacking people.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's even killing them. But like you make it, because I mean, look, they made Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
A horror movie.
Yeah.
For a third of that flick. They're not beyond that. Maybe that's even where you get Sam Raimi to direct another Spider-Man movie. But like you make it dark and weird and inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you make it $100 million, where it's mainly just Spider-Man in the sewers, and he's dealing with like this thing. I kind of would be really okay with that. Like,
Dude, could you imagine? Think back to that first episode of Spider-Man, the animated series, where he's going after the lizard.
That's right, Night of the Lizard. Yeah,
remember that line? It's a line that stuck with me since I was a kid because of how it impacted me as a kid. When he's like, "You don't see the Fantastic Four in the sewers." Imagine how much harder that line would hit in a world where we know the Fantastic Four
exists. That's exactly right. That's that's the Spider-Man I've always wanted. It's not that I've always wanted Spider-Man to be an Avenger, or I always wanted to see Spider-Man like wield the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
I've just wanted to see Spider-Man exist against the world of superheroes.
Yeah.
And he does the shit they don't.
Mm-hmm.
The Avengers don't go in the sewers.
Yeah.
Pete goes in the sewers. That's what I'd like to see.
And
it's like, it'd be cool to see a real lizard.
Mm-hmm,
but again, like, if you're looking to like weed out redundancies, use Vermin. He's a rat man.
You know, we pushed back on it a little bit. I understand why we did, but to that idea of avoiding redundancies, especially with No Way Home, where it's really hard now to tell a Norman Osborn story with Tom Holland's Peter Parker because of No Way Home, right?
Because he killed his aunt from another universe.
Yeah, but to weed out redundancies, and I know we joked about it and you pushed back on it, but like somebody that could fill the Norman role is Jackal. And maybe you move him a little bit further away from the Clone Saga and more closer to like a Green Goblin figure, more mad science, but it fills that same role. That could be really cool. Here's the thing I like about what you're throwing out there. And you know what, man, I would imagine maybe not with Tom Holland, but we will get something like that in that movies right now aren't making what they used to.
Right.
And so we can't be spending what we used to on them. Even
that's what I'm saying. It just keeps the budgets respectable, but also doesn't, like, you know, it will still make $1 billion. That's the ironic thing for me. Is like, oh my god, you made a Spider-Man movie that's like fun and like weird and relatable and like, or at the very least like horrifying, but also it still made the exact same money as if we threw the kitchen sink at it.
Yeah, and I stand by. I think what I really want is, at least out of this version of the character, is Spider-Man Fantastic Four movie, Spider-Man X-Men movie. But I would really like, I think the artist in me would think it'd be really cool to like, hire one of the Safdie brothers, the guys that did Good Time and Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah.
Do a Spider-Man movie. Tell them like, sorry, it's going to be PG-13. It's going to be PG-13. I know,
but push it. Just push the envelope. And, like, or make an R-rated movie that I can edit.
But then I also think a lot about, especially, I guess, because of the conversation on the suit recently with Tom Holland, is Lee Bermejo, who people might be familiar with. He did the Joker graphic novel with Brian Azzarello, which is still one of my favorite graphic novels. He worked on pertinent to movies coming out. He did Lex Luthor, Man of Steel.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of great work. I follow him. I don't know what he did. I don't know if it was an official thing, but he did a piece with Spider-Man where the suit, it's like it looks like something somebody put together. Yep. And it's like, I would like to see that. Like, there's something about that kind of grungier, grittier. And when I say grungy and gritty, I don't mean like R-rated, but like that really feels like a kid that put a suit together that's barely making ends meet and really just doing his best and living in a New York that's like a recognizable New York. Yeah. And I think there could be something really cool about that story. And I think like once we get done with the Tom Holland stuff, I think it'd be cool to like circle back on that. Like, okay, we did the big swing. He's going and fighting Thanos in space, and he's teamed up with every Marvel character we have in the Pantheon and all that stuff. Now let's go back to Man on the Street.
Yeah.
Barely
from the neighborhood Spider-Man.
From the neighborhood Spider-Man. That'd be cool.
Especially because like the reason why people like Spider-Man is not because he fights space gods.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's there's one alien that most people want to see him fight, and it's Venom.
Yeah.
For me, it's like the reason he's relatable is because like he's so deeply personal. All of it, like, and all the movies have made it that way.
Yes.
Like they're like every villain that he fights, he knows personally, and he has a direct stake in. It's not that he's going to destroy the city. Sure, he will, but also he's going to kill his girlfriend.
Yep.
I mean, like, as much as I hate that, I'm also like, I understand why you're doing it so much because he's such a deeply personal character, and the stakes are always like the highest ever, but also if like you interviewed anyone on the street that lives in his universe, they couldn't care less or even know who he is.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah,
Because we're Spider-Man in that regard. You know, like
and I think
nobody cares about my struggle.
I think the characters that have kind of shouldered that more in the MCU are the Defenders characters, are
Yes.
Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. And it'll be interesting to see. We talked about Daredevil Born Again season 2. Christian Ritters Jessica Jones is coming back. I'll be interesting to see how much they pull. Like, are we going to get Mike Coulter's Luke Cage back? That'd be cool.
I would like that. I would have loved
that. Then you're going to start getting questions about what about Finn Jones's Iron Fist. And listen, maybe they could polish that, make that.
They could fix it.
I'm trying not to be mean. They could turn that coal into a diamond. Maybe they could.
Maybe. I mean, it would be nice if they tried. I guess be nice for him. I don't know.
There was that one episode of Luke Cage season 2 where Finn Jones is in it. It's like, oh, this isn't nothing. This is something.
Yeah. It felt like that was actually an attempt to do that, where they were like, maybe we could help him with just this Luke Cage show. Maybe if we just did the thing people wanted.
Yeah, for real. I like the Luke Cage show a lot, but there's always part of me that's like, but just do a Heroes for Hire show. What are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing? And it'd be cool to. It'll be, man. It's interesting. Everything's so uncertain right now, and in a lot of ways that is scary. But in other ways, there's so much potential, and it'll be interesting to see. I think we're in for a rough road in that. I think Disney and Marvel, and truthfully, the entire industry are kind of in. I should say not the entire industry, because a certain section of the industry are in like panic mode.
Yeah.
Well, like, how do we get back to making the money we were making before? And so I do think
that was unsustainable. That wasn't real.
Yeah. And so I think we're going to see we're going to see a lot of sweaty, like, here's a new Steve Rogers. Is this what you want? And I'll be like, no, that really wasn't it wasn't the issue, man.
It's the secret sauce. It was just telling great stories and making it with modest budgets. Yeah. So that, like, you know, it could take swings and try things, and
because I think we're going to see a lot of swings that are Robert Downey Jr.'s back as Dr. Doom, and it's like that's not what anybody wants.
Nobody asked for that. That is such a decision made by corporate. Like, it's such a decision where you're like, what? So you've lost complete touch with reality.
It's a decision. You can almost hear the conversation in the room where it's like, we need. Like Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, wherever this started, was like, we need Robert Downey Jr. back.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, we'll call our DJ. And he's like, I don't want to do Iron Man anymore.
Right.
God damn it. Okay. Oh, and then the Jonathan Majors thing. God damn it. Okay. What if we do Dr. Doom? Okay. Well, we've been told we need our DJ back, but he doesn't want to be Iron Man. Maybe we give him Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
Nailed it. We nailed it. We fixed it.
We got it. We figured it out, everybody. All right. Mission accomplished.
For the rest of us that weren't part of that, because we've all had that experience where you're in a room and you guys are spitballing stuff and like, we figured it out. And then you present it to somebody that wasn't part of that circuitous logic tunnel. And you're like, that's stupid. What are you doing?
That's a horrible idea. Why would you ever think that was a good idea? And it's like, well, you should have been there.
Yeah. And it's like, so you can almost I'm not saying that's what happened, but I wouldn't be shocked if I found out that's what happened. So we're going to get a lot of that stuff, and some of it will work and some of it won't. But I do think it's an opportunity for, you know, newer stuff to come through. Like, and I think with, you know, Superman and Man of Tomorrow and Peacemaker and all that stuff, I think, you know, DC fans are hopefully in for kind of a smoother road. We'll, you know,
at the very least, it'll be a pre-planned road.
And I think the one issue they have to deal with, that based on James Gunn's interviews, it sounds like they are aware of, but we got 3 DCU projects this year: Creature Commander, Superman, and Peacemaker. All were written and some were directed by James Gunn.
Yes.
And so that helps them be cohesive, great, but it also runs the risk. And I think comic readers are way more in the zone of this. It's like, we love Brian Michael Bendis until he's writing every Marvel book, and now we don't want any more Brian Michael Bendis. You know what I mean? Same with Jeff Johns, same with whoever. Pick a name.
Yeah.
And so I think the real test for them will be Lanterns, which is Damon Lindelof and his team, and then Supergirl, who I can't remember. It's the same director that did I, Tonya and stuff like that.
Yes, and they were supposed to do the first Supergirl movie, I think.
Yeah, and so like that'll be the proof in the pudding for them. In Clayface
Yeah,
with Mike Flanagan and I can't
and
remember
the
the
director of the movie.
yeah. And I think that will be the real testing ground for the legs this have, because if it's only James Gunn stuff, not only are you going to burn him out, you're going to burn audiences out on his specific voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't want it to be the Gunverse, so to speak, where it just
because that's what
everyone
happened
talks
with
like a Gunn
Snyderverse. We
character.
still call it the Snyderverse. It's like you just got out of that problem.
Yeah. But
Um,
sometimes that's just because Hollywood was like, I respect your decision or your desire to not do that, James Gunn, but also we don't trust that anything not you won't work.
yeah.
So that's it.
We'll see. And he's saying, he's talked a lot about, he's got his writers team that they all kind of like his core team of people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talked a lot about each project's going to have a distinct personality and everything. So he's
Yep.
saying all the right things. We're not going to film something until it has a script.
Yep.
And the good thing is Damon Lindelof is enough of a brand on his own
Yes.
that I doubt that
He's not going to be like, oh, I got to make it more like James Gunn. Like,
Yeah.
Damon Lindelof's like, I am not going to do that.
As much as I hate the pitch of like, instinctually I'm like, oh, when they're like the Lantern show is going to be like True Detective with Green Lantern, I'm like, oh, don't do that.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, but at least it's like that is very different than what we've been getting. So like maybe that is the correct call, and maybe that'll be how we see the runway laid for, what, Matt Reeves' Batman can't be our Batman.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see, man. I mean, like, and I would like to see that kind of approach with Spider-Man, or at merely Marvel in general, but like through Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is also one of those things where you can use this character, so to speak, to like prove your points. Like, you can take risks and swings with Spider-Man because it's gonna do well.
Yeah. It's one of the
either way.
Yeah,
with that's something you can't even bank on with Batman. The last every single Spider-Man movie has made $1 billion. And we haven't seen a Batman movie make $1 billion since Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, well, I think the only one I guess, the Batman v Superman. Yeah. I got you, Justice League. Yeah. Granted, post pandemic, the Batman came out post pandemic. Although No Way Home came out like in pandemic times, it still made $1 billion. So
that's right. But I mean, all the things we talked about when it came to Spider-Man and like what's going to happen in this movie, all the ideas, we didn't even touch on like other crap like parent figures or what the plot is, what these people are looking for, what they're trying to do. What's the tank all about? And all those leaked photos.
Dude,
but
I'm probably going to buy that Battle Van action figure when Marvel Legends puts out that Punisher Battle Van. I'm like, oh, I'm probably going to buy that.
But folks, let us know in the comments down below. What do you think the next Spider-Man movie should be called? Yeah. And what do you want to see it being? But in addition to that, while you're in the comments, you can also click over to check out Graveyard Shift.
Yes.
And the Kickstarter that DJ's working on. We got 2 weeks left on that campaign as of the taping of this episode. But check it out. DJ, elevator pitch him. What is this?
It's basically an irreverent horror story that takes place in an overnight fast food place where these fast food workers have to deal with thieves that are trying to rob them and murderous mascots that are trying to eat them and trying to make it through the night. And that's what the Graveyard Shift is. It's hopefully creepy and funny and sexy and all the things you'd want from a story like this.
Sounds good to me. Yeah. But check it out. And of course, check out DJ. Sometimes the two of us team up and do stuff just like we'd want to see Daredevil and Spider-Man do in their movie. But what do you got? You got DJ Talks Trash, your own personal channel.
You can go to youtube.com/DJ Talks Trash or youtube.com/Only Stupid Answers. That's where you can check that stuff out. On my personal channel, Sal and I do a monthly show called Retroversity that's live, usually the first Wednesday of every month. We're going through we had people vote on it. We're going through the DCEU. So we just did Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad. We got a special one coming up. I don't know that I'm ready to say it yet, but we're doing something special next month.
That's right.
So stay tuned for that. And then if you go to patreon.com/Only Stupid Answers, as we can find Spider-Versity, Mutant Academy. We're going through extending Krypton Academy. We're going through Superman the Animated Series right now. Yep. So a bunch of fun stuff between Sal and I collaborating. So if you want more of that, check it out.
Check it out.